Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us on our birthday. We're very excited to be with everybody today and to host this pep rally for our birthday day of action. I would now like to introduce League of Women Voters of the United States CEO, Virginia Case Solomon.
Welcome everyone to the League of Women Voters 102nd birthday celebration action. We are thrilled that you're joining us today from across the country as we commemorate the birthday of our organization with music, inspiring words, and of course, activism. Women have powered democracy for over 100 years. So for our birthday, we are coming together across the country with our esteemed partners and friends to build power for the elections in 2020. Most importantly, we're coming together with all of you. And today we honor the 102-year legacy of our organization with unified pro-voter action. Thank you for powering democracy with all of us. So to kick us off, I'd like to introduce the League of Women Voters of the United States Board President, Dr. Deborah Ann Turner. Dr. Turner is the 20th president of the League of Women Voters, having served on the national board since 2016. She is a woman's health physician and powerful activist. Dr. Turner has led our organization into its second century with wisdom, vision, and passion. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Turner.
Good morning, everyone. It is great to be here. I am so excited that we are here today to celebrate our 102nd birthday. I am proud of all the League actions that are happening all around the country on this auspicious day. And I am also proud of all the work we have done during the past year, keeping voters front and center. Together, the League has registered new voters, hosted community forums and debates, educated all ages on topics critical to our democracy, and provided accurate and up-to-date voting information from vote411.org. We also held rallies. We protested at the White House and Congress, and some of us even got arrested. We worked with our partners to expand opportunities and challenge injustices. That is what we do as the League of Women Voters. We fight for voters and for our democracy, and we do it with passion and with integrity. However, we know the work is far from over. Dozens of new anti-voter laws have already been passed since 2020. Misinformation and disinformation, particularly, quote unquote, the big lie, continue to erode public trust in our elections. These threats are alarming, and they reveal an important truth. Democracy is never guaranteed. We must continue the fight for a fair and just society and defend our right to a government that is by the people, for the people, all the people. I know a lot of us are disappointed with what happened in the Senate on voting rights. I am also disappointed, frustrated, and even angry, but I am more determined than ever to right this wrong. We must harness our collective power to continue the fight for our democracy. Women have powered democracy for over 100 years, and we will not quit now. We will work together until we make the promise of democracy real for everyone in America. We will continue our work to block gerrymandering from creating unfair advantages for any political party and ensure fair political maps in all 50 states. We will fight for DC statehood. We will be champions for voters' rights in the halls of power, advocating in legislatures, and fighting the courts so that every voter has fair, equitable access to make their voice heard. Our work is more important than ever, and we must stand in our power. Our network is vast because it's rooted in our communities. Our passion runs deep, and our voices together form a resounding chorus. We are one League, and we fight on behalf of every voter in every corner of this country. Today, I am proud to stand together with League members and democracy protectors across the country. And now, with total delight, I would like to introduce to you Lu Ali, who is the co-founder of the Peace Poets. They are grounded in the power of personal narratives and community. The peace poets create and have shared spoken word, poetry, rap, and movement music that responds to social and political crisis in over 40 countries. Amazing. Lou, welcome, and it's great to have you here.
Thank you so much, Dr. Turner. Thank you to each one of you who are with us right now. I want to give gratitude to all those who came before us. And to do that, we're going to use a song. Invite you, no matter where you are today, to get on the same vibration as each other. Our people will be getting on the same vibration by taking action, the same way that those who came before us took action. And that's no small thing. And so to follow along, I'm going to invite you into the National Outreach Circle, so you can follow the link that you see there in the chat, or it should be available to you wherever you're following and wherever you're joining us from. And when you join us, that's an opportunity to be connected, that we are really celebrating today with this anniversary. And we're going to go ahead and jump into this song, because I really believe in the power of music to remind us why we were made. That's the name of this song. And the lyrics are simple. We're going to sing, "We are not afraid. We are not afraid. We will live for liberation, because we know why we were made." And today, when we sing that, I want to think about how the work of the League, that is a pro-democracy, pro-voting rights, connects us to all of our relatives who are fighting for love and justice and dignity, for migrant rights, for climate justice. This is the work of all of us. And so when we do this work, we are connecting to a beautiful vision of liberation. As we get started today, we're going to go ahead and try to feel, not just with our ideas, but with our bodies, what it is to feel the beautiful vision of liberation. The song goes like this. I'm going to sing it. I'm going to invite you to join me. Do not be shy. Sing it out into your living room, your kitchen. Sing it like you mean it. Get grounded. Get connected to each other. This is the time. It goes like this. We are not afraid. We are not afraid. We will live for liberation, because we know why we were made. Try that with me. We are not afraid. That's right. We are not afraid. We will live for liberation, because we know why we were made. For those who came before us, we are not afraid. Sing it now. We are not afraid. We will live for liberation, because we know why we were made. And taking action, singing, we are not afraid. That's right. We are not afraid. We will live for liberation, because we know why we were made. And move with it, singing, we are not afraid. For your children, sing, we are not afraid. We will live for liberation, because we know why we were made. All together, sing, we are not afraid. Connecting across the country, we are not afraid. We will live for liberation, because we know why we were made. All right, now, listen, my people, we're going to sing it 2 more times. And we're going to sing it like we celebrated an 102nd anniversary. We're going to sing it like it's a day of action for voting rights, and we're not afraid to take action. We're not afraid to remind this country to respect everybody's voice. That's how we're going to sing it all together. Now, don't be shy. Like I said, let your neighbors hear it. Let those outside hear it. We're going to do it like we mean it all together. Here we go. We are not afraid. We are not afraid. We will live for liberation, because we know why we were made. One more time. We are not afraid. No, no. We are not afraid. We will live for liberation, because we know why we were made. Thank you so much. Happy anniversary, my people.
Okay, can we just say how incredible and amazing that was? Thank you, Luaya, so much for that. And now I want to introduce some of our national partner guests who are here with us today. And I have to say that I am always so very excited to be in fellowship and in partnership with these incredible individuals. Ann Toback is the CEO of the Workers' Circle. During Ann's tenure as the nonprofit's first woman leader, she has led the organization through a reboot process, resulting in today's Workers' Circle. It is a social justice organization that powers progressive Jewish identity through Jewish cultural engagement, Yiddish language learning, multi-generational education, and social justice activism. Along with her, we have Noel D'Amico. She is the Director of Social Justice at the Workers' Circle and has 30 years of experience in grassroots and institutional organizing at the local, regional, and national level. Jana Morgan is the Director of the Declaration for American Democracy, a coalition of over 180 groups from the labor, racial justice, faith, women's rights, environmental, good government, and many other important communities on a mission to take back our democracy and restore power to the people. Wanda Mosley is the National Field Director at Black Voters Matter. Black Voters Matter is a power-building organization that works with Black-led organizations, primarily in rural communities, to gain electoral wins to build Black political power. She credits her great-grandmother, Olie Mae Charleston, for teaching her why the right to vote is so very sacred. Please join me in welcoming them.
Thank you, Virginia, and Mazel Tov, and thank you to the League of Women Voters for inviting us here to speak at this celebration of over a century of protecting our democracy. It's particularly meaningful for me to be here as a proud member of the League of New York and the CEO of the Workers' Circle, a social justice organization founded in 1900 by Eastern European Jewish immigrants. Our founding members were women and men who took great risks to leave their homelands, escaping violence, economic hardship, and authoritarian rule. People who came to the United States because it offered them freedom, opportunity, and a democracy. In the early 1900s, our founding members included tens of thousands of women immigrant workers, women who became fierce activists in the labor movement, and after winning critical rights at work, turned their attention to the suffrage movement and fought for the right of all women to vote. I want to hold up our suffragist members, Clara Lemlich and Rose Schneiderman, and the thousands of women activists who fought alongside them and on whose shoulders we now stand. Women who paved the way for all of us here to have a stake in our democracy, and whose call to action over a century ago we are now called on to continue as we fight to protect, preserve, and expand the right of every American to vote and have their vote counted. Today, the Workers' Circle proudly continues our founders' commitment to immigrant rights, social and economic justice, and protecting the United States democracy so that it will continue to serve as a beacon for us all here and to the world. We're honored to continue to serve as a proud partner with the League of Women Voters in the 21st century, fighting against new attacks on our right to vote. And it's my great pleasure now to introduce my colleague, Noel D'Amico, the Workers' Circle Social Justice Director, to talk about our shared activism today.
Thank you, Anne. Friends at the League, we at the Workers' Circle are proud to stand shoulder to shoulder with you in this fight, to march in stride, and yes, even to be handcuffed side by side, to demand our lawmakers uphold the right of every American to vote. The Senate's ignominious decision to protect the filibuster over every American's right to vote has made it clear that we, the people, must stand in the breach to protect our democracy from those who would callously, carelessly, or cravenly subvert it. And we will not stand idly by as some of us are targeted for disenfranchisement because of our race, because of our language, because of our physical ability, because of our gender, because of our age, because of our zip code. We will march forward under the banner of that old labor cry, an injury to one is an injury to all. For when Black people in Alabama are redistricted out of fair representation through the intervention of the highest court in the land, we say this is not only an injury to Black Americans in Alabama, but to all Americans. When transgender college students are denied the ability to cast their ballot because their ID does not match up, this is not only an injury to transgender young Americans, but to all Americans. When an elderly Native American woman in Arizona without reliable mail service is no longer able to have her ballot picked up by a voting rights organization and delivered to the election office so that it makes it by deadline, this is not only an injury to an elderly Native American woman in Arizona, but to all Americans. Right now, over 250 new bills to restrict the right to vote have begun moving through state legislatures. But you know what else is moving? We are. All across this land, in every state of the union, there are league members, there are worker circle members, there are Black Voters Matter members, there are DFAD coalition partners and democracy activists on the move from Texas to Louisiana, from Hawaii to Alabama. This fight for an American democracy where all people are truly equal is a centuries-long fight that has been filled with promise and setback, achievement and terror, advancement and backlash. And more will yet be required of us. But we remember that in the face of impossible odds, brave people step forward to risk it all for equality and democracy. We stand on the shoulders of giants. History has given this moment into our hands. And taking strength from those who came before, we will meet this moment together. We will look the forces of autocracy and violence and racism and greed in the eye and say, in the name of we the people, we will not give way. We are ready. We have been made for this moment, and we will turn the tide together. Happy anniversary, League of Women Voters.
Wonderful to hear from you, Noel and Anne. Hello, everyone. I am honored to speak to all of you to celebrate the 102nd anniversary of the League of Women Voters and your Day of Action. Thank you so much, Virginia and Alma, for this invitation. My name is Jana Morgan, and I am the director of the Declaration for American Democracy, of which we are proud to have the League of Women Voters as one of our 250 members. We are dedicated to passing transformational democracy reform legislation to create an America that actually lives up to its promise of a government of, by, and for the people. Many of you have been involved over the past couple of years as we have worked to pass the transformational Freedom to Vote Act, previously called the For the People Act, the John Lewis Voting Rights Act, and DC statehood. These bills together would get big money out of politics, stop the spate of anti-voter laws from passing across the country, enhance the freedom to vote, end partisan gerrymandering, stop election sabotage, and finally enfranchise our nation's capital, long denied representation in Congress. And you all played a critical role in securing the overwhelming support across the country and in Congress for successful passage of these bills in the House, and in getting unanimous Democratic support in the Senate for the Freedom to Vote John R. Lewis Act. Unfortunately, because of Mitch McConnell and Senate Republicans' deep opposition to protecting the freedom to vote, and Democratic Senators Manchin and Sinema's decision to prioritize protecting the filibuster rather than our democracy, we were unable to secure passage of this critical legislation in the Senate just a few weeks ago. And while I know this is an incredibly frustrating setback, our work must continue. The League of Women Voters, having been around for over 100 years, knows that fights for true transformation will have numerous ups and downs. But as long as we are working together, we will be ready to seize the next opportunity to pass national legislation that will change this country for the better. But federal legislation is not the only place to make change. In fact, the Freedom to Vote Act was built from legislative wins that had already happened in states across the country. For example, online and same-day voter registration, vote by mail, and small donor funding of elections are all initiatives that passed in states across the country. So while we remain ready for the next moment to pass sweeping democracy reform at the federal level, we need you all to continue the precedent-setting work that you've been doing in the states that will inspire future legislation. And we need you to continue to defend the freedom to vote in your state. As we all know, hundreds of anti-voter laws were introduced in the last legislative session, and we know that those who would undermine the freedom to vote are gearing up to introduce even more this year. And in many cases, these bills are put together with surgical precision to specifically disenfranchise Black voters and other voters of color, Indigenous voters, voters with disabilities, low-income voters, students, and more. And I know that you all will be there with us in this fight to stop this injustice and to protect our sacred right to vote. So I just want to take a moment to again thank you all for the critical and important work you do on this important anniversary. Every single person's contribution makes a difference when we are fighting for the very soul of this country. And so I'd like to end my remarks by reading a portion of Amanda Gorman's inspiring poem, The Hill We Climb, which she read at President Biden's inauguration just over a year ago. But while democracy can be periodically delayed, it can never be permanently defeated. In this truth, in this faith we trust, for while we have our eyes on the future, history has its eyes on us. At the League of Women Voters, you will have the force of over 100 years of history behind you and a promise made to the future ahead of you. And that is why in this moment, we will continue to fight. I'm so proud to work in solidarity with all of you. Thank you so much, and onward we fight.
Good morning. My name is Wanda Mosley. I'm the National Field Director at Black Voters Matter. I'm joining you today from the blackest bus in America, from the great city of Houston, where we are doing work on the ground to inspire and assist college students, young people to go out and exercise their most sacred right as Americans, the right to vote. So proud to be here today with all these wonderful organizations in solidarity with so many fights, but today is a joyous occasion. It is a birthday celebration. So happy birthday, League of Women Voters. As was mentioned earlier, Black Voters Matter is a power building organization. We do a lot of our power building through electoral spaces because in electoral spaces, when we gain wins, this is also a form of harm reduction for Black people in America. But we also like to tell folks, don't get it twisted. Just because our middle name is Voters, we're not just about voting and elections. We understand and know that that is our most powerful tool in the fight for civil rights in this country, but it is but one way to build power. But I wanted to share with you some examples of what our power building looks like. Power building at Black Voters Matter looks like a group of people in Brunswick, Georgia, who are frustrated and tired and angry because they did not receive justice for the murder of Ahmaud Arbery. So instead of just being mad that the district attorney refused to file charges, they organized, they created organizations, nonprofit, nonpartisan organizations that they could use to go out and affect change in their community. And so they registered people to vote. They got people out to the polls, and they were able to elect a candidate that they knew would do the work in the spirit of justice that they wanted it. And in doing so, they saw an increase of 100% voter turnout. So when we say go out and build power through voting, we aren't asking people to vote just to vote. We are asking them to be intentional and to be strategic with your vote. But with our folks in Brunswick, the work didn't stop just with voting. Now they are in a phase of accountability, meeting regularly with this newly elected official to check in and have conversations and understand that the will of the people is being heard and that they are on the same page when it comes to defining what justice looks like. So as you can see, electoral spaces are very important for Black Voters Matter, but we organize around a number of issues, everything from environmental justice, access to healthcare, childcare, a livable wage, all the things that are important to us but are denied to us when there are additional barriers placed in front of us to go and vote. And when I say additional barriers, I'm talking about things that could have been protected with the federal legislation that we have not yet seen passed. So on top of living in a place where we don't have a livable wage, where in many states you see long lines, 6, 8, 9 hours, and then couple on top of that, the fact that I don't have a livable wage, people literally cannot afford to vote because they can't afford to stand in line because we're seeing attacks on vote by mail, early voting, souls to the polls. So here at Black Voters Matter, we stand in solidarity with all the wonderful organizations here today, most especially the League of Women Voters. And as I leave you, I just want to talk specifically about one of our core principles at Black Voters Matter. That is recognizing, acknowledging, and supporting the leadership of Black women. We know that Black women are one of the most consistent and powerful voting blocs in this country. And so when our organization is able to find grassroots leaders and marry their passion and love of voting, and we can marry that with resources, the sky's the limit. And so I'll just leave with one little example of a group of ladies in Lawrence County, Georgia, who were doing GOTV work for years. And when we talked to them and we met them, we said, well, what are y'all doing for GOTV? How are you getting your list? What does GOTV look like? Well, no, we don't have a list. We get together at my house or her house or their house, and we pull out the phone book and we make phone calls and we let people know that elections are coming. That is the kind of grit and determination that women bring to this fight in this country. So again, happy birthday, League of Women Voters. Glad to be here with you, and just want to say 102 years looks good on you. Thank you.
Thank you, Wanda. And I just want to say how honored we are. I have to say that every one of the amazing women leaders that you just heard from, Jana, Noel, and Wanda, we've all been in jail together. So when I say that we have a good group of folks who are ready to fight till the end, we fight till the end. And we're so lucky to be in solidarity with such amazing groups and amazing leaders. I am going to ask our state leaders to jump on and join me right now. But first, I want to go through a little bit of information for you because I want to make sure that everybody who is on this who is on this live stream right now knows how to find us. So if you aren't plugged in or you want to be plugged in, you need to go to Outreach Circles. We are using Outreach Circle as a social media platform. It is a way for us to talk to other people about everything that's going on, and you can get involved and you can share your events on Outreach Circle. You can also go to lwv.org or find us on any of our social media platforms, whether it's Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. You can go and find us at the League of Women Voters, LWV. Okay. So I'm going to share with you some of our celebrations that started this week and that are ongoing right now. The first one I want to talk about is the Lower Neighbor, Pennsylvania, who hosted a live stream Voters Valentine's Dance Party as a pregame to the Super Bowl. They sent out voter Valentines to their friends and family and promoted Vote 411. The League of Wake County, North Carolina will be welcoming new members with a Why We Love the League birthday celebration and happy hour. And February 14th is the first day of early voting in Texas for the primary elections. The League members of Amarillo, Texas will be doing two very important things in celebration: working at the polls and voting. The League of Utah is organizing postcard writing and drops to their legislators together with local leagues. The League of Columbia area, South Carolina will feature their longest term member sharing her historic perspective on women in South Carolina who impacted the right to vote. And she will be joined by African-American leaders who will also share their stories of voting in the South. On Tuesday, the state and local league in Montana will be doing relational organizing as members will bring their friends and family to join them at their event, the LWV 102nd Birthday Celebration Happy Hour. We say happy hour, everybody wants to join, right? They will be welcoming new members, sharing stories, and have many activities. The League of Lawrence, New York will premiere their video, The League of Women Voters, 102 Years of Service, in conjunction with the League of Women Voters of North Country. The video covers the history of their league, the kinds of services provided in our rural areas, and details about how the league does its work in more than 700 locations in all 50 states around the country. And don't forget, soon to be the 51st state in Washington, D.C. The League of Connecticut and the local leagues have an early voting referendum on the November ballot. Today, they're going to be encouraging people to turn their energy towards passing the EV referendum. And then finally, the League of Janesville, Beloit, Wisconsin will be hosting an event focused on youth and the growing future of young voters, how to engage them and support leaders for tomorrow. And these are just a sampling of so many of the wonderful actions and events and ways to engage to celebrate our very special birthday. And so now I'm going to pass it over to Anna Keller, our Executive Director from LWV of Maine.
Hi, Virginia, and hi, everyone. Thank you so much. It's really exciting to be here with you on our 102nd birthday. The League of Women Voters of Maine is holding 3 events today and tomorrow, all focused around education and activism ahead of the upcoming elections. Today, we're really glad to have Kim Wyman, the former Oregon Secretary of State and leader on election security, coming to talk to us about the real threats that we face when it comes to election integrity and trust in our elections, and how to distinguish the real from the fake and to build confidence in our elections. We're going to continue on that theme tomorrow with a workshop on fighting the big lie and how to combat disinformation in your everyday life and on your social media to get our members and the public trained to be combating when they run into disinformation. And then this evening, we're working with the League of Women Voters of Maine Youth Council to put on a workshop on how to write testimony. And we're focusing on a bill that we're working on with our coalition partners to expand tribal sovereignty for the Wabanaki people and to ensure that they have the same rights as other tribes in the country. And so really glad to be doing these 3 events, 3 different kinds of work on our birthday, and to be coming together in community, learning and taking action.
And now you can pass it on, Anna. Next, we have our leader from Louisiana.
Hello, my name is Christy Green, and it may look like we're just having a little pre-Mardi Gras fun down here, but what's happening in that building today is all business. We have got, first of all, the Secretary of State holding his voting system commission meeting to select a new voting system for our state, which has been using the same outdated computers for 20 years. The League has not taken a position on exactly what form this voting system will be. It may be hand-marked paper ballots, it may be computers, or a combination. We just want to make sure that there's voter access, election security, and it meets the needs of disabled voters. But the other main thing that's happening now, our redistricting session began on February 1st. It is supposed to end on February 20th, but it's going very slowly. It may be extended. It will likely be vetoed by our governor. and it is already said to be headed toward the courts. So what we at the League with 16 other organizations have called on our legislature to do is to pass maps that create additional majority-minority districts for Congress, the Board of Elementary and Secondary Education, the Public Service Commission, and Supreme Court, as well as asking the legislature to allot more seats to Black representatives so that voters of color are reflected in our legislature. So again, we're in the middle of the battle here. We don't know how it's going to go. You can like our tweet at the top of our Twitter feed. We did send candy hearts to our legislators last week saying fair maps, PPFM, and we want our legislators to pass people-powered fair maps. We've got an ad campaign starting on the tomorrow across our state in our flagship newspaper. So we are doing what we can to push for fair maps here in Louisiana. Happy anniversary, League.
Hello, everyone. Happy anniversary, League of Women Voters. My name's Judy Beaver, and I'm the president of the League of Women Voters of Wheaton, Illinois, a western suburb of Chicago. Today, the Wheaton League is celebrating the League's 102nd birthday with a voter registration drive at Wheaton College. Our goal is to register 102 voters. We're working with the Wheaton College Republicans and Democrats to get out the vote. We're thrilled to be a part of this celebration. If you're not a member of the League, join now. We're stronger together, always. Happy anniversary, League of Women Voters.
Hi, I'm Jen Jackson, and I'm co-president of the League of Women Voters of Lexington, but I'm also Voter Services Chair of the League of Women Voters of Kentucky. And we are very excited about the League's 102nd birthday, particularly because the Kentucky League was also founded in 1920. So in just a few days, we are going to be celebrating the belated 102nd birthday by having our League Day at the Capitol. And I say this with air quotes because we are stepping into the 21st century and flexing our newly toned Zoom muscles and going completely virtual for this big event. I'm excited that we're going to be able to provide a more robust experience for our attendees by utilizing another new powerful tool that our league has at its disposal, Outreach Circle. And with one click on their smartphone, attendees are going to be able to, well, I was going to demonstrate here, but with one click, they're going to be able to learn about issues, watch live legislative action at the Capitol, track bills, call their legislators, and so much more. This pandemic has forced us to morph into a more modern organization, meeting online, transitioning to collaborative workspaces, and using tools like Outreach Circle. We have been tackling difficult issues like redistricting, voting rights restoration, and defending people's ability to vote. Melding the skills and ideas of new members with the deep legislative knowledge of our longtime dedicated members has allowed us to create powerful committees that are making an impact in Kentucky. But all of that internal work doesn't create change in our community if we don't share it with Kentucky's citizens. Enter our Outreach Circle. This has just been one of the most transformative tools that we have in our arsenal. It saves me so much time and increases our impact, allowing people to send emails and texts to their friends about our events and action alerts and fundraisers and more. One of our members, who's a self-described non-technical person, has been able to send out over 1,100 messages. When all of our supporters start rocking it out like that, we can be sending out hundreds of thousands of messages to Kentucky voters, and that is power. I want to invite you to join the LWV US Outreach Circle and check it out for yourself. Outreach Circle helps you stay informed and take action with the League. I also want to encourage people to download the free app because it allows you to carry the League with you wherever you go. Go to the App Store for iPhone, the Play Store if you have an Android phone, search for Outreach Circle, and remember it is one word, otherwise you're not going to find it. And after you set up your account, search for the code T as in Tom, Q, and then as in Queen, Frank, or F as in Frank. So TQF340. That's going to be a shortcut to get to the LWV US's outreach circle. So happy birthday, League.
Penny, it seems like your voice is, you're on mute.
Thank you, Virginia. Greetings from Arizona. I'm Penny Sharon, representing League of Women Voters of Arizona as the president-elect. On behalf of all our Arizona League members, I wish to respectfully acknowledge the indigenous people of Arizona's 22 native nations who have protected this land for centuries. The League of Arizona has an 81-year history of building League presence and power in empowering voters and defending democracy. Arizona is ranked among the 10 most diverse states in the country, and Arizona Leagues are working with organizations and community leaders, many of the local partners, chapters of DFAD and Black Voters Matter and Workers Circle. And we're working with our community leaders, fighting to ensure that the promise of democracy and the freedom to vote is protected for all Arizona voters. In this perilous moment of our democracy, our League members continue to be vigilant, mobilizing our voters to use their voice and vote to speak out against the 100+ and growing voter suppression, election sabotage, subversion legislation passed by the Arizona legislature, demand criminal justice reform and transformation, advocate for sensible gun safety legislation, advocate for women's rights and climate justice. And all of that is going on this week. We are testifying on about 15 bills at the legislature. This is a critical time. We're calling on all our members this week, the last week for legislation to be heard in the Arizona Legislators' Chamber of Origin, to send emails speaking out against the Arizona legislature's effort to destroy democracy. Today, on our 102nd birthday, yay! The League of Women Voters of Arizona will join many partners to gather signatures for the citizens-led ballot initiatives, Arizona for Fair Elections and Stop Dark Money. The Arizona Leagues thank our LWV US leaders, Dr. Turner, Virginia, and the staff for their support through this very difficult time in Arizona, as in our nation. We're calling on all our members in Arizona to show their love. Today is Valentine's Day also for the Arizona League by donating to their local or state league and to the State Education Fund. And we encourage everyone who is watching us, all our friends and league members, whether you live in Arizona or anywhere in the United States, get involved in protecting our freedom to vote. Find a league near you. Get involved or donate if you cannot give your time, so that we all can continue to do this important work for our democracy, our future, the future of our republic, one league together. Happy birthday, League. Thank you. I turn it over to Yulin.
Thank you so much, Penny, and thank you everyone with us today. My name is Yulin Zhang. I am a trustee with the League of Women Voters of the District of Columbia, or as we call it, DC, and I'm also co-chair of our Full Rights and DC Statehood Committee. I am a proud DC resident. DC is my home and home to more than 700,000 residents with the diverse lives and careers you'd expect in any population center. We vote, we pay taxes, we serve in the military. We have small businesses, we work in the service industry, we are public servants. We fall in love here, we raise our families, and we retire here. Our children attend DC public schools and play in our parks. Yet, for more than 200 years, we do not have a voice in our national government and sovereignty over local affairs. During the January 6th insurrection, our district's elected leadership did not have the authority to call upon the National Guard to act in this emergency. The DC National Guard is the only National Guard unit that reports only to the president. It was heartbreaking to see these events unfold in our home, your nation's capital. The January 6th insurrection threatened our democracy and many lives. We could have responded to protect ourselves better if we were a state. It is past the time to debate DC statehood, long past the time. Our democracy is non-negotiable and cannot be complete without DC statehood and full rights. This is our fight, and we're going to continue in this fight together. So thank you for dedicating your energy, empathy, and enthusiasm to this fight. The progress we have made together is undeniable. We have delivered more than 37,000, close to 37,000. It's such a large number that I often forget, but close to 37,000 signatures in support of DC statehood to Congress with our community collaborators. Awesome, everyone. We have presented on DC statehood to audiences in more than 30 states. Some of you may have met me or our team. We've traveled to you. We've delivered this presentation virtually now, and we continue to do so. And we have engaged with countless organizations and organizers across the country to mobilize individuals on this cause and full rights. So as we move forward, please join the League of Women Voters of the District of Columbia Day of Action event tonight. You can find the details and register at lwvdc.org. You can contact the LWVDC team to let us know if you'd like to learn more, and you can present in your community on DC statehood. And please reach out to your elected officials to let them know why DC statehood is important to you. I know that together we will achieve DC statehood, and we will build a home where our children, family, and friends have full rights. Happy anniversary, League of Women Voters. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Yulin. So beautiful to hear each and every one of you speak powerful truth about powerful work. Here we are, my people. We gathered. We ready to get into this day of action. We got pom-poms of celebration because we out here ready to take action together, and our movements need to be beautiful. They need to be bold and colorful and loud, and they need to bring in more people. So that's how we closing out today. We're gonna sing a song called the For the People song, and that song is gonna go into a bridge that's about those who came before us again. It says the words, when you walking in the footsteps of Sojourner Truth, you got to walk strong and walk in song. When you walking in the footsteps of Ella Baker, of Fannie Lou Hamer, we're going to shout out Alice Paul. We're going to shout out the people within whose footsteps we walk out here. And that's because we're grounded the way we take action today. So thank you again for being here. Thank you for closing out in song. I know my people ready with their pom-poms to rock out for this last jam right here. You ready to, you're gonna move with it the way you, like you marching in the streets, like you taking the space. And that's gonna, like I said, we're gonna start with the For the People song. This song has been sung outside of Feinstein's office and outside the White House. This song has been sung as our people have done civil disobedience. And now we're singing it together to set off our day of action. Here we go all together. It starts off like this. We go. We the people are for the people, and for the people we act, that's right. We the people are for the people, now will you have our back? Let's do that again. We the people are for the people, and for the people we act, that's right. We the people are for the people, now will you have our back? Now we say, we won't ever let go of that hard one. Freedom, freedom to vote. Do that again, move with it. We the people are for the people, and for the people we act, that's right. We the people are for the people, now will you have our back? Now. We the people are for the people, and for the people we act. Say, we the people are for the people, now will you have our back? We're doing amazing right now. Now we're gonna do the ancestors part. And when we do the ancestors part, my beautiful people who are with me here, who you see dancing and moving, y'all are gonna stay on mute so that everybody can hear us good. You sound amazing, I love you. But to make sure everybody can hear just one voice, we're gonna do it like this. We're gonna be saying our ancestors' names right? We're going to be saying those who came before us. And this is going to give us strength for the action we're going to take today. So I need you to open yourself up, open your spirit, open your heart, and remember that you are part of an amazing movement that is not just arriving. You are here full of the power of people who have sacrificed everything, who have sacrificed their life, who have sacrificed their freedom, who have ended up in jail, who have ended up beaten and abused. That's whose footsteps we walk in right now. And when we do it, that's why we say we have to walk in strong. We have to walk strong. And we say we have to walk in song because that's spirit, my people. This is spirit. This is the thing that we are feeling together right now. So we're going to close with this song, set off it like this. We're starting with Sojourner Truth, and I don't even need to say why. Let's do it. When you walking in the footsteps of Sojourner Truth, you gotta walk strong and walk in song. You can say that with me. When you walking in the footsteps of Sojourner Truth, you gotta walk strong, let's go, and walk in song. Let's say Ella Baker. When you walking in the footsteps of Ella Baker, you gotta walk strong and walk in song. When you walking in the footsteps of Ella Baker, you gotta walk strong, come on, and walk in song. Let's say Fannie Lou Hamer. When you walking in the footsteps of Fannie Lou Hamer, you gotta walk strong and walk in song. Say that name again. When you walking in the footsteps of Fannie Lou Hamer, you gotta walk strong, come on, and walk in song. All right, now we're doing good right now. If it's possible, I don't know what everybody else is seeing, but if we could get that gallery view so we could see everybody, that would be amazing. I don't know if y'all could just see me out there, but I just wanna make sure that we can see everybody dancing and moving if that's possible. We're gonna do it like we mean it. We're gonna dance with it. We're gonna say a few more names, starting with Ida B. Wells. If you know anything about Ida B. Wells, then you know it's about having courage, my people. Courage. Let's sing it like we mean it. Here we go. When you walking in the footsteps of Ida B. Wells, you gotta walk strong and walk in song. You better sing that again. When you walking in the footsteps of Ida B. Wells, you gotta walk strong. Let's get it. And walk in song. Sing it for the DC statehood. When you walk, say Ida, the footsteps of Ida B. Wells, you gotta walk strong, what now? And walk in song. Say Alice Paul, when you walking in the footsteps of Alice Paul, you gotta walk strong, let's go. And walk in song, dance with us, say it again. When you walking in the footsteps of Alice Paul, you gotta walk strong and walk in song. All right, now, my people, there's someone you might not know, but we gotta shout out Maria de Lopez right now. We're gonna say Maria de Lopez. Here we go. When you walking in the footsteps of Maria de Lopez, you gotta walk strong, that's right, and walk in song. Say that again. When you walking in the footsteps of Maria de Lopez, you gotta walk strong, whoa, and walk in song. We're going to Sojourner Truth one more time, all together. I just need you to move with it. I need you to feel the power and the courage. It's an action day, my people. We say, when you walking in the footsteps of Sojourner Truth, you gotta walk strong and walk in song. Say it one more time. When you walking in the footsteps of Sojourner Truth, you gotta walk strong and walk in song. Last time we said, now we the people are for the people and for the people we act. Hey, we the people are for the people. Now will you have our back? We won't ever let go of that hard one. Freedom to vote. Thank you, my people. Thank you for singing, for dancing. Much love and blessings to everybody out there. Peace.
Oh my goodness. Did you all enjoy that? Because I know I enjoyed it. We want to thank everyone who joined us today with your energy and your voices. And thank you to League members and others who joined us from across the country to celebrate our 102nd birthday. We are so glad you're in this fight with us and together with our partners. We are just thrilled to know that we will continue to fight for our democracy, to center racial equity and justice in this country, to make sure that every person's voice is heard. Thank you to our wonderful guest speakers, to Dr. Turner, and to all our League leaders who shared with us today. Happy 102nd birthday to the League of Women Voters. Now go out, let's fight, let's win for democracy.